Hello, folks. Have you ever wondered what a scope of project is supposed to look like on a construction project? You know, what does that really mean? The scope of project, the scope of work. Well, scope of the project, say, okay, for instance, I'm going to use a kitchen, for example. And the scope of the project is that well, I'm going to be putting a kitchen in. And in the kitchen, we got major things that's going to be having to happen. You know, scope of work is what type of materials are we going to be using. Scope of work is, am I removing all the cabinets, the countertops, things like this, you know. So it's the grand total picture of it. But then the scope of work, now that's how I see it, is the scope of, and this is a great way of describing it, scope of work is when we break it down. So yes, I'm replacing the cabinets, but who's doing the demo work? Okay, that's the scope of the work. How were they doing with the materials? These all should be in your contract. This is all this type of information, as much as you possibly can. You want it all in writing, so as that there is no mistake, and there's nobody going to say, I didn't know, because that's always, oh, it just irritates me to no end. I didn't know. Yeah, there's no excuse, you didn't know. But in today's world, I didn't know seems to get away with everything. Anyway, but for us, we got to know. So when we break it down to the scope of work, then who's doing the tearing out? Who's doing the cleanup? Who's doing the demo? Where does the materials going to go? Are you going to be putting it into a dumpster? Are you going to be taking it on a truck and hauling it off to the dump? Maybe you got a landfill of your own. Who knows? But then break it down. Then your electrician comes in and your plumber. These are the scope of work. So naturally, you're doing a kitchen. Naturally, you're putting in cabinets. Naturally, you got to be putting in, you know, the plumbing and such. But these are two different ways of looking at it. So they want to make sure that that's inside of your contract and what it really means. Now, there's 8 concerns that should be addressed also in your scope of work, and that's your introduction of the project. The introduction of the project, what does that mean? Okay, well, I'm going to be doing a kitchen, and the kitchen's going to be at X amount of on ABC property, and you know, this is, you know, that's kind of to talk about that, the total picture, like we did say, and then you summarize the objectives. What is it that you're trying to achieve out of this, you know, and so yeah, a new kitchen, but there could be such a thing as when we're doing a new kitchen, I got a new stack I got to get. I got to get some plumbing and drain props taken care of. I got to, usually new kitchens, we also want to put in new breaker for our microwave, you know, or designated GFCI breakers, things like this. So we want to make sure you have that. Describe the actual scope of work. And that is exactly what each and every party, which we just briefly talked about at the beginning. Detail the project task. And I mean, each one of these is important. Detail exactly what's being happening and the order that it's going to be done in. Without that, well, it just gets to be a nightmare. And the state of the project schedule. And we talk about that all through the book on how to hire contractors, and you can see it on other videos that we got. We talk about that. But you know, you want to make sure you know about when when we're going to be doing different projects. Date of deliveries, project deliverables. What does that mean? Well, kitchens, we're going to still stay on kitchens. Well, when are they going to be delivering the cabinets? Where are we going to store them at? When are we going to be putting them in? Countertops, when are they to be expected to be delivered? We want to make sure our materials like this that are, you know, not our trades, but our materials, because they got to jive with the labor at the same time. So we got to make sure they're both taken care of. Specify an adoption plan. What does that mean? Well, what if I can't get this particular product as flooring in? Maybe they're out. How do you want to handle it? Do you want, you know, do you want to just wait for it? Do you have a backup plan? You want a backup plan. You always want plan B. You know, what happens, honestly, what happens if you're in the middle of a project and your contractor goes bankrupt or if his insurance goes out? I mean, it's even deeper than just between you and your contractor. It's between you and your family and what's going on, because actually this is your business. You're just hiring these people to help you. And then you want to state the project management roles. Who is in charge of what? Who do you contact? Because what you don't want is you don't want to go to the electrician and ask him to be doing more work whenever the general contractor is in charge, because then this guy's going to want to get paid more. Your general contractor's not going to want to get paid because it wasn't part of the contract. Make sure you put all the right pecking order of the right people in. So that's very, very important. And it keeps, and some of the other benefits to this. It keeps your team and all your externals people all on the same page. It manages all of your work expectations and all the responsibilities. These are not things you should be trying to get figured out in the middle of the job. These things you should be already thought out. And hopefully your contractor's smart enough to do it. But if not, you are now. Or if you're your own GC, you're your own general contractor, you need to know these things. Saves everybody time. Time is money. The old adage is, I could always make more money, but I can never make more time. So what's more valuable is our time. That's and believe me, you keep this on time, everybody's going to love you. Everybody's going to enjoy working on your project. It helps you gauge the job where you're at and more accurately. It sets a plan for the budget and some realistic deliverables. And it acts as there you go. Now, I am not an attorney, I'm giving you my attorney disclaimer, but it definitely acts as a legal contract between you and your contractor. You need this because that way everybody's on the same page and everybody has to stay above board and be ethical. And that's what we're talking about, right? Thank you. Appreciate it. And if you like this video, hit like and subscribe and go to the next one. Thanks.